Good morning. Well, I'm here to tell you that I had a meltdown at one of the meetings two meetings held here yesterday. One was held in the morning for all the tenants so that the representative from Rhode Island of the owners of this building could come and talk about the fact that they're going to turn this into a smoke-free building come September. So they have 60 days notice in here for the smokers to get used to the idea. And of course they have responded with extreme upset, and so this meeting was so tumultuous that, well, I'm surprised the roof didn't fly right off the building, because tenants would jump up, start talking, they wouldn't let themselves be recognized, they wouldn't shut up, jump up repeatedly, interrupt events, and
Ma'am, can I ask a question? Do you know why I didn't go to that meeting?
Oh, why?
I believe you just said why I didn't.
Well, the reason he doesn't go to any meetings.
I do too.
Well, when did you go to a meeting? No, he's was staying in his room and isolating as usual, but there were some drinkers there, and one of them had bought his alcohol with him.
You gotta be kidding me.
Well, his drink, and
you're not supposed to do that.
Oh yeah, he was refreshing himself, and he was the one that couldn't be contained. And I thought, what in the hell is wrong with him? Has he gone insane? He could not shut up.
Well, the problem is you live in an insane asylum and you won't accept that. I do.
And so, yes. And so then, finally, but Vance did not lose his temper. He maintained the same tone, and he discussed it, and they all voiced their objections. They were still voicing them. He always has to cut it off, say no more, this is the end. And so and of course, me being a non-smoker, I wouldn't dare say a thing, because the smokers, it was all about the smokers who were realizing they have, and this is what he said, it will become a smoke-free building. And he said all their buildings back in Rhode Island are smoke-free now. Well, he knows what it is to take some people through becoming smoke-free, but I'm sure he's not going to have as difficult a time anywhere as he's going to have here persuading these people, because there's a lot of smokers living here. They like the westward hoe. And well, you can imagine.
I wonder why.
Because they are going to either have to, he said, we will have people in here to help talk about quitting.
Well, see, there's a federal law that's been passed you probably aren't aware of that HUD has to put in force. There's a federal law that HUD has to put in force. And if HUD is going to have any more buildings, you know, if you want to get financed, you're going to have to produce a smoke-free building. Why? I don't know. It's the federal government. You know that old statement? No reason, federal government. Now let me finish this, all right? One of the things that really upset me the other day when I was watching television, as I usually do, and she never does, the University of Arizona has also had to comply with that. So there's no smoking in the dormitories, no smoking on campus. How are they going to, you know, enforce that kind of a law? And what kind of a crap?
Well, if you'd gone to the meeting, you'd heard a lot of discussion on how he planned to enforce this, what he was going to help.
Well, I know you're going to enforce it.
And so he said, and they all objected, you know, the smokers, and naturally, and
aren't they going to put a grandfather clause in there?
Well, that's what they brought up, and he said no, it was going no. it was not going to, and
Now,
I know
these old people got a real problem.
a grandfather clause that would allow them to smoke till they died. Is that the grandfather clause, as I understand it?
That's pretty much what it, or until they leave. Okay?
To him, and to me, that's not even hardly
leave.
changing anything, as all these smokers will be able to smoke and no problem in apartments. There's too many smokers here, so.
Well, how do you
And I'm used to having the smokers dominate in the patio. And people who don't smoke generally don't even stop there because they can't stand cigarette smoke. Well, I was raised with smokers, and I'm used to everybody smoking around me, so I have a lot of friends among the smokers. So I feel their pain, but I don't have to quit smoking in 2 months.
Feel their pain.
For to stay in here.
If you never smoked, you don't know what it's like to quit smoking.
Yeah, but I know what it's like to quit eating. And let's see, Vance has been in the habit, which I would like to call to his attention one of these times, of providing donuts. Two great big donuts.
How come I
to
never
the
get any?
people for coming to the meeting. And this is the American way. You give them ice cream, sweet, or whatever to get them to the meeting, because they perceive that if they can eat sweets, they will come. Well, a lot of them come. And so
right.
that day...
You put out sauerkraut and pig's feet. They're not going to show up very often.
Oh, right. So they
You'll have a few of us Germans show up.
The only way they're going to get people to a meeting that concerns them is to what? Give them donuts. Well, I've taken a vow never to eat any more donuts in my whole life. So, of course, I didn't eat any, but then I went down to the video room after that, and the leftover donuts had been brought down there, so everybody came in, munched on a donut all day until we went to the meeting. But then we had a meeting at 4 o'clock. Well, then here comes...
Which I also did not attend.
And the chairman came bringing in a cake this big, put it down.
Are we talking about the guy that slithers around, and
snake yarn? He said his girlfriend made it, and it was delicious. And he put it down there. Well, I'm telling you, if all the people that attended those meetings ate all that sugar, they'd have the biggest sugar high last night, because they've been eating donuts and cake all day long. Oh my God, if I fed my kids that way, they'd be jumping, they'd be so high that you couldn't even get them to bed.
Yes, but your kids are like,
and of course I haven't even dared say anything about the sweets, even though we have a lot of people in here who are overweight and are fighting diabetes and all the things that go with it, and shouldn't even be eating these foods. But this is their attitude. This is the attitude of the smokers. We're old. We deserve to enjoy our vices. And why are people trying to take our vices away from us? Because we're old. And this would be a hardship on us. And
well, it is going to be kind of
interfering
tricky
with our rights. Well, and here's this guy. Well, anyway, let me tell you.
I'm trying to tell you, here's the situation as I perceive it to be. If you're going to have, these old people are going to be evicted. They're going to have to go someplace, and I would say 90% of them don't have enough money to even move this stuff out of here,
right?
Let alone go someplace else. Who's going to pay for that? The government?
No.
Somebody's got to pay for it. What are you going to do? Take them, throw them out on the street? Are you going to put them into... shelters won't take them. They're too old and they're too decrepit.
Well, how
are they going to survive?
How far is the government's obligation when old people get so decrepit that all they can do is drink and smoke and eat, and the government's just supposed to take care of them, carry them here, carry them there, keep them alive, spend millions of dollars keeping each one of them alive if necessary when they get old and get lung cancer and diabetes and all the rest of the diseases associated with. So anyway, in the second meeting, Snake did get up and he read letters that were being sent out to people who owed the association money because they had borrowed money, former chairs or former officers who borrowed money and didn't pay it back, sold or gave away Westward Hole property.
This is the tenants.
Yeah, this is Snake, and I thought,
this
well,
is
this
the
is
second. The
I
second
thought,
meeting,
yeah, the
right?
second meeting, and I thought, well, this is the first time in years that I've seen people care about thievery, you know. And he said, people are not going to steal from the people at the Westward Hole, and I thought, well, oh, wow,
That'd be something.
that's
something
interesting.
new, wouldn't it?
And but anyway, this went on, and then all the smokers wait. Then they got to the subject of smoking, and then because all the smokers in the audience became very emotional again after the meeting we'd already had, and they began to tell about. Go on, and you know, they express themselves to great lengths, to greater lengths than they'd been able to in the meeting. They were frustrated. And this went on for an hour that I listened to, and I didn't dare say a word. I was just sitting there listening. And I didn't say anything in the other meeting either. And the only ones that said anything that were not smokers were they sympathized with their smoker friends, and they were ready to fight for their smoker, so their rights, so they say.
Well, they lost their rights, unfortunately.
To smoke.
Federal government said.
To smoke.
Sorry.
To smoke. And so finally, I thought, well, I can't say a word because, and I've been treated like this all along, like, well, you're not a smoker. So you don't have anything to say about smoking.
Pretty much true.
And so I decided I was going to have to say no matter what. So I got up and started saying, Bence also said that this government is going broke. And yet,
like we don't know
we
that?
aren't
$3
willing,
trillion
and he
in
said,
debt? We don't
there's
know
not as
that?
much money for HUD anymore. So we got to cut corners. We can't give you everything that you want. And people seem to forget, we seniors, there's a lot of seniors that get to be older age that used to, you know, be in desperate straits. Now they can get subsidized housing and be independent, more or less. But in their minds, this eventually comes to seem like, this is my right. Well, it hasn't been a right very long. And now the government is looking at, because they have found out that Medicare and Medicaid, thousands and thousands of dollars are having to be spent for older people in the final stages of life. The final stage of life, year of life, can cost far more than anything else. When you have your breakdown, when you're...
No kidding.
And that is what's costing so much money.
That's exactly right.
And if people are not willing to tackle their destructive habits that bring this on, you know, you can smoke for 40 years and you may never have lung cancer.
Now, okay?
Oh yeah, it's always too late. It's too late. It's too late. I'm just going to enjoy myself. Why can't you just let me enjoy myself? Why could you, how dare you expect me to quit at my age? Well, that's like saying, us old people can't do a thing.
Canada's got socialized
We
medicine.
cannot do a thing to help ourselves. We have no discipline. We can't quit anything. We can't improve ourselves. We can't quit drinking. We can't quit smoking. We can't quit eating.
So what did people have to say about your little speech?
Well, I didn't give a chance. I said, yeah. And I got up and said what I had to say. And I brought you up. I said,
oh, jeez.
I said,
you have to drag me into your situation.
I said, I had a partner who died of lung cancer in here. And I nursed him. I was his caretaker for a year. Was that easy? No, it was not easy.
Right? Not
Pierre, yes. It was not easy. And I said, now I've got a partner who's dying of alcoholism. He can't quit, he claims. He can't quit at all. And he's not being affected by the smoking because he doesn't smoke. If he smoked, there was other alcoholics there who smoke.
They're just as addicted to smoking. I haven't smoked for 40 years. Why do you keep bringing it back up? If I smoke,
you don't smoke because then you would have to contemplate change. you would have to be thinking, well, what am I going to do?
I contemplated that 40 years ago and quit smoking.
Okay, but you didn't quit drinking, and you're dying. And you can't go out of your apartment, you isolate, you can't be a partner because you're too insane. You don't accept the fact that if you're an alcoholic, you begin to sound demented.
So when did you, yeah,
demented.
Right. So when did you have your meltdown?
He does not accept what alcohol
when did you have your
does
meltdown?
to the human being.
When did you have your meltdown?
Right then. Then I said, I've done everything I could possibly do. Tried to tempt him with food, come down and see him every day, care about him.
Bring me up in the middle of these nutcases.
Oh yeah, why did I? These nutcases, because you're one of the biggest nutcases in here as far as I'm concerned. Because you sit in your room and isolate, destroy yourself. That's crazy. Because you cannot, he's had this problem, I'm sure, all his life, deciding he was doing something bad and he should quit it.
So,
then I talked to my son last night.
What's this?
He's 60.
Ah, here we go.
And 61, and he said he had heart flutters on the way to Utah and thought he might have a heart attack. And he trying to quit smoking and trying to quit drinking. Oh, he had a wonderful time. And my other son has got a spot on his lung that may have been brought on by smoking, or even though he quit. And he's got to go and find out if it's cancer, have a biopsy. Okay, I got those two sons in that shape.
He thought he was supposed to have an MRI. What happened to that?
Well, that's what he's got to do. An MRI to find out if it is metastasized
that's not a biopsy.
to someplace else. That's what Pierre died of. His lung cancer, by the time he got it x-rayed, had metastasized to all parts of his body. His brain, his liver, and his bones. So the horrible pain he was experiencing that he thought was his back was actually cancer. Well, and so he thinks it's going to be easy. Right now, he's worrying me.
About me.
He is worrying me because as long as I've known him, I have not known the man he would be or is without alcohol. Without him getting drunk every single day.
Yeah, but see, I was already retired before I came into this place.
Okay, but you seem to think, you courted me more or less to come down here, be your partner, do all this stuff, but you did not intend to be a good partner. You intended to keep on drinking. Don't tell me you didn't intend. And that's what happens when you like a guy or a woman and they're not going to quit their vices. That causes them to be a very aggravating, I can't ever go anywhere with him because he can't go places. He couldn't go to the meeting. He says inappropriate things. He's just like the one that kept jumping up and interrupting everybody.
Right.
That's what happens when you come to a meeting drunk, which he could not do. He'd have to come drunk because he's always drinking. He's always on his way to becoming very inebriated. So he does not understand that he's not giving me as good as I'm giving him. Because I'm giving him sobriety. He's giving me alcoholism.
Well,
so
I apologize for the KFC episode because I did not know that the cab was going to do that, and therefore I showed off by using my credit card, just...
Well, you did rehab, and 3 days later you started drinking again. So what I'm facing with him is he has no willpower whatsoever, I guess, to quit doing...
But you're always guessing, though.
I'm older than he is, but I decided I could change my ways. I could quit eating Snickers. I could give up sweets altogether, never eat one again. So I did it, and I'm still doing it. And it's hard even to not find foods that will put the weight back on, even if it's not sweets. I mean, there's carbohydrates, there's chips, there's cheese, there's, you know. So I have to dedicate myself, if I'm going to put the weight back on and get sugar again running in, I have to fight every day to keep myself from falling back. People offer me sweets, I say no, no sweets, none whatsoever. No sugar. So, but I have never seen come to the point of saying himself, I need to quit drinking and drink. He's committed every time. He's always said he's too old, he can't do that. Well, how come some people can do it, but you can't?
Well, I've never been committed before, you know.
Well, why not?
Because I'm not insane. That's why.
Because you enjoy. Oh, it's not. It's to choose drinking over.
Did not have to fight
people.
Shock treatment.
You are choosing drinking over people. If the people don't like it, they can just go hang.
These aren't really people. I mean, they're kind of.
You would give up the people more than you would before you'd give up alcohol.
Have you seen these people up close?
Oh, yeah, listen to this. Listen. He's putting himself above those people. Why do you think you're better? Why do you think you're better when you are not reasonable? When your brain is not working because you put that into it? How come you're superior?
I didn't say I was superior. I said
yes, you
suppose
did.
the government.
You're passing judgment on all these people in here. They're dumb, they're stupid, they're insane. That's why you won't associate with them. And he'll say it to them, to their faces. If
they didn't say it to anybody. Name one person I said that to.
You got on the elevator with me the other day, and you made a comment on everybody in here being insane. Meaning, these people that were in the elevator. Well, they didn't say anything.
No, but see, the problem is senility sneaks up on you, and then you go, oh, I know I heard that.
And he thinks he's got a perfect right when he's inebriated to tell people how insane they are. And if I tell him he's insane, he just shakes it off like a duck shakes water off his back. He does not pay any attention to what I said. He doesn't let it register. I think he's been doing this for years. I think he's been resisting.
Well, that's true.
Finally decided he's the rebel incarnate.
Right there, because I think probably the day or two after I was born, I was a bottle baby. I don't remember any breasts, so I'm pretty sure I must have been sucking on a bottle.
But this is not thinking. This is not serious thinking. He could no more have run that meeting like Vince did than he could have fly. Because Vince has to stand up there, control everybody, talk about a complicated subject, let people. It's his job because he can do it. You could not do it.
I wouldn't want it.
Oh no, you wouldn't want it. You just want to relax and. But he wants to feel superior to everybody. So this is, you know, trying to talk to, you know.
Well, let's hope they don't pass up.
Anyway, that's one reason I had a meltdown. I went down, I talked to Snake this morning.
I didn't say you having a meltdown.
I told him.
You call a meltdown?
When you yell and holler and leave the meeting.
Well, that's exactly
so I went down there and told Snake that I was very agitated over him and all the things that's going on in the family. My sons, whether they're going to live, whether they're going to outlive me. Then I got him to worry about and get through.
Oh, that's your meltdown. Okay.
Believe me, it's not easy to get through the death of someone from alcohol or smoking. My dad died of tobacco, but he could just as easily have died of alcohol. Because he almost died many times from alcohol, what he drank and put in his body. So I've been dealing with this since birth. 2 husbands I divorced because they were violent when they were drinking.
Milk in there, I'm not sure.
They were violent. And religion, I didn't take to Mormonism. I could not hack the polygamy aspect. The fact that the prophet brought this into the church, I couldn't hack it. So I had to leave Utah. Well, I'm going to call a halt to this. I'm weary. But
Did you get any sleep last night?
no, not hardly any, but
Oh, great.